on time. Yep, we're good. In 3, 2. Dave Campbell's Texas football here in College Station at the Lone Star Clinic. Here with the head coach of the Denton Ryan Raiders and one of the speakers tonight, I read in the program. It's Coach Dave Henigan. Are you nervous about tonight?
I am not. No, I'm not nervous at all. This is one of the best clinics, though. You know, I've had the good fortune to speak here 3 times over the years. This one and Angelo and anytime Hardy's involved, it's a good one. So looking forward to it. You know, hopefully somebody can learn something from us. Not sure they can, but maybe.
I don't know. It seems like you've been doing a lot of winning and you got a lot of opportunities to teach some people how to do that. Let's go back to 2021 because it's funny that the standards at Ryan are so high that I think 99% of Texas high school football programs would look at what you guys did in 2021 and say, that was an unbelievable year. But I also know you guys are a championship program. So I'm interested, when you take a look back on 2021, how do you feel about it?
Well, you know, it's not fair to those kids to not say 12-2 and losing one game in overtime to Geyer and one game to a great College Station team by 5 points to say that it wasn't a good year. So it was a good year. But you're right. The standard at Ryan is to win every game, every year. And that's just the reality. It's, you know, it's part of it if you coach there, if you play there. And so, you know, everyone was a little bit disappointed, even though it was, by all accounts, a great year.
And so how do you use that as fuel? It's interesting because you guys haven't had a whole lot of losses to necessarily motivate you guys recently. So is this something you guys talk about, how last year ended, or is it, you know, where you're putting one foot in front of the other?
No, I mean, I don't think we ever talk about last year, whether we win it all or don't win it all, you know, and so we move on. Every year's different. Every team's different. You know, we certainly have some lessons we learned from last year that we've addressed without necessarily talking about them. Just from a leadership standpoint, or coach a little bit better, or have a little bit better plan, or be a little bit more physical, whatever it is. You take those lessons and you try and bring them into the next year, but we don't use them as fuel to the fire at all.
All right. So realignment was last week. I don't know if you heard. You guys get thrown into a district surprise. Aledo, the Colony, kind of a really good district, kind of going along that Fort Worth corridor. We talked with Tim Buchanan on our show when the draw it came out. I'm interested your perspective on the draw.
I was surprised. I mean, I figured we'd go back to Region 1, you know, just because the way the thing was happening, and the Frisco schools, as much as anything, having their own district. But I was surprised we went with Aledo, to be honest with you, that far west. But, the reality is we're going to have to play those guys at some point to get where we want to get, and vice versa. And it is what it is. You play who's in front of you. There's been some years where people have questioned the strength of our district schedule, and there's this year where I feel like we have a really good district from top to bottom, starting with Aledo, but there's a bunch of other playoff teams in that district, almost all of them. And so it should be a tremendous challenge, but our kids have a healthy respect for all of them, but our kids don't fear anybody either.
That is for darn sure. Who's the guy on your staff who's the realignment nerd, who's getting the pins out in the spreadsheets? Who's the one on your staff? Because I know every staff has one.
It's probably our director of football ops, Jeff Gott. I mean, he's kind of that guy. He's kind of the nerd of he's my top guy. If I ever got fired, he'd be the first guy I hire at my next job. He's that important. But we don't really pay attention to it, to be honest with you.
All right, and finally, I got to ask you. We've been talking to Coach Henigan. I want to talk to Dad Henigan because your son, freshman All-American there at Memphis in his first year. What was it like watching him out there on the big stage there with Memphis and doing big things?
Man, it was awesome. You know, we're so proud of him and all our kids. But him, he's a talented kid. People didn't understand how talented he was, to be honest with you. But he's a really hard worker, and he's laser focused. And to see it pay off for him, on Saturdays is a credit to him. So it was a lot of fun. It was interesting. I had this conversation yesterday. I've always been a participant. I've never, ever been a fan, ever in my whole life. I've either been playing or coaching all my life. And so this year is the first opportunity we had to be a fan, and first of all, it is a lot easier to be a fan, just for the record. And honestly, I'm not sure it's more fun. I mean, we had a great time, and so we're proud of them. We got an opportunity to go to most of the games, and so it's been fun.
Nobody's yelling at you.
That's right. It's a lot easier to second guess when you're up there.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.